Welcome parents. This presentation will discuss how English concepts are scaffolded throughout your child's schooling to empower them with the knowledge and skills to prepare them for the upcoming NAPLAN test. The presentation will consider NAPLAN within its wider context and illustrate that it is just one of many assessment tools used to ensure that we have a comprehensive understanding of your child's learning. NAPLAN is a national standardized test that is used to complement existing assessments. It is not intended to replace the extensive ongoing formal and informal assessments that students partake in within the classroom. ACARA stresses the importance of parents remembering that NAPLAN is not a high-stakes test. It is just a point-in-time snapshot of your child's education that can be used to inform future teaching and learning. The Australian curriculum is a progressive continuum which is reflected in the increased value expected between the NAPLAN test in Year 3 to Year 5. The Australian curriculum is structured so that the concepts and skills are progressively built upon each year across the three English strands: language, literature and literacy. Learning is scaffolded within the classroom to provide support to students, to empower them and bridge the gap between students' current ability and their future learning goals. Captain's Chronicle is provided to Year 5 students to ensure that students are familiar with the test format. Please be advised that NAPLAN warns against excessive preparation as it can lead to unnecessary anxiety for students and is not deemed useful. Developing knowledge regarding the purpose and audience of a text is essential in supporting students' ability to interact and comprehend. It supports students to apply comprehension strategies such as predicting and making connections to enhance their understanding. Within the Australian curriculum literacy strand, there is a sub-strand dedicated to students understanding the purpose and audience of different types of texts. In Year 3, students are developing their ability to identify different types of text, including persuasive text. By Year 5, the expectation has increased to students being able to use language features and text structures to explain and identify different text purposes. Figurative language such as the metaphor used in Captain's Chronicle helps students to understand that words and phrases can be used in non-literal ways for particular effects. Developing this skill effectively is important to understanding the complexity of language and the application of language devices. Fellows and Oakley 2014. As you can see, the substrand progresses from discussing the nature of language devices used to enhance meaning and impact readers' reaction, to then in Grade 5 being able to interpret and understand language devices, including the use of metaphors. As defined by Seeley-Flint 2014, comprehension requires readers to use a range of complex, dynamic and strategic processes to construct and extract meaning from the text. In this example, students are required to interpret, synthesize and infer to gain a comprehensive understanding. The importance of comprehension is evident throughout all years in the Australian curriculum. From Years 3 to 5, students are explicitly taught comprehension skills that support them to progress through and achieve the content descriptors stated in the substrand, entitled Comprehension Strategies. In Years 3, students are building on their comprehension strategies to further develop literal and inferred meaning, as well as evaluate the text, which is then scaffolded over the years to focus on students' ability to analyse and integrate information effectively. In the middle to upper years in primary school, the learning and assessment process becomes more transparent to students. There is also a greater push towards student autonomy by increasing the responsibility and involvement of students in their learning decisions. This includes their negotiation of approaches to assessment and their involvement in goal setting. You as parents should view assessments as an integral tool that is used to support and enhance your child's learning. The data obtained through assessment provides educators with information regarding students' achievement, which is then used within the context of the classroom to inform future teaching and learning programs. Reading conferences are opportunities for educators to assess students' individual literacy strengths, as well as gain information on where a student may require additional instruction. Seeley-Flint 2014. It is a time for students to have individual and focused attention with the teacher. The information gained from reading conferences is used to plan instruction and to develop mini-lessons for specific students. The reading conferences may include discussions with students about strengths and abilities, as well as provide educators with an opportunity to suggest strategies to further scaffold the reader. Effective writing assessments inform us about the abilities of students and their relative strengths and areas for improvement. Assessment activities are linked to efforts to improve learning. White, Smith, 2014. A student's writing ability may fluctuate, depending on the task and variety of skills required to construct the text. Therefore, it is essential that educators consider a wide range of different assessment tools over a period of time. The portfolio allows educators to construct a comprehensive portrait that the teacher and student can continue to reflect upon long after the isolated moment of the writing task. In keeping with the notion of increased student involvement and responsibility, self-assessment can be used to assess speaking and listening. This approach to speaking and listening assessments is often used in conjunction with other tools and strategies such as rubrics and student performance or presentations. Self-assessments provide students with the opportunity to reflect on their learning processes by giving themselves feedback on their performance. Churchill, 2016. Self-assessment is most effective when students are aware and understand what is expected. Within the classroom, this may be facilitated through a negotiation and use of a rubric. Student-led conferences are a three-way forum between the student, teacher, and parent. The student plans, presents, conducts, and evaluates a collection of work samples demonstrating their learning achievements. SLCs promotes growth towards becoming self-directed lifelong learners. They differ from traditional parent-teacher interviews as they require students to be active participants. It provides a platform in which parents, students, and teachers can all celebrate student successes together and report feedback to outline future learning goals. It is important that you as parents view NAPLAN within the wider context of a student's overall performance on various assessment tasks. NAPLAN only captures a snapshot of what students can do at a single point in time. It is not about passing or failing, but about assessing learning progress and identifying additional ways to support your child's learning. Thank you for listening to the presentation. We hope that it has been beneficial and informative for you. If you have any remaining concerns or questions, please feel free to contact the school or visit the additional resources on NAPLAN.